What's goody? Hey man, so the news broke a couple of minutes ago that Jayson Tatum, one of the best players in the NBA, man, is coming back potentially as early as Friday from his Achilles injuries. Now, for those of y'all that don't remember, he tore his Achilles during the Knicks series last year. I believe it was in maybe game 6 or something like that against the Knicks. Hasn't played a game since, obviously, but man, him coming back just made the last 20 games of the NBA season something that I'm about to be absolutely even more locked into, because I was kind of one of those people that heading up into this moment right now, I was kind of like, man, I'm over this. Let's just get to the playoffs. I'm not having fun watching it as much anymore. I catch myself multiple times or multiple days a week where I'm not even watching hoops at all. I'm just looking at highlights, looking at stats, box scores, and all that stuff. But man, with Jayson Tatum coming back to the Celtics, and if y'all don't know, this is one of my favorite players in the NBA right now. This is a guy that from the same city as me. I saw him play in high school when I was in the 7th grade. We played against his school, their 7th grade team, obviously. But then after our game finished, you have to walk through the big gym if you've ever been to Chaminade. At that time, I don't know if it's still like that, but you had to walk through the big gym to get out of the B gym where the middle schoolers would play. And dog, we walk out and they're in the middle of a game. It was ridiculous. The arena was packed. Jayson Tatum was out there hooping, cameras everywhere. Like, I will never forget that. He always reps the city super well and everything like that. So I'm always a big fan of Jayson Tatum and probably always will be. But man, this right here is absolutely lit. Now, the first thing I want to say about this, I'm still in the back of my head worried, like, is he coming back too soon? Is his body really ready for it? And obviously he knows his body best. He's got some of the best doctors literally in the world around him all the time. Some of the best rehab therapists and everything like that in the world around him all the time. So I'm sure his body is ready, but obviously it's still something that lingers in the back of my mind when I think he's coming back this early from such a significant injury. And especially because he's coming back to a team that's, don't get me wrong, doesn't have any expectations to win this year, but it's for damn sure seeming like they're trying to win this year. So it obviously worries me a little bit. The last thing I would want to see is Jayson Tatum get hurt again. But man, I'm praying that absolutely nothing happens. I'm praying that this man gets out there, has the best season of his life, best last 20 games of his life, and in the playoffs and everything like that. I hope he comes back and looks just like how he looked before, if not even better. No injury and everything like that, man. I'm absolutely excited about this news and everything like that. And you're adding this man to a team where you've got Jaylen Brown, who right now, in my opinion, is a top 3 MVP candidate without a doubt, averaging 29, 7, and 5, 48, 35, 78 splits with a 53% effective field goal percentage. But what's been so impressive to me about this season for Jaylen Brown is just the amount of times where you look at the box score, you catch yourself watching the game and you're like, damn, he's got 40 again. He's carrying them to this win again. You look at their team and you say, okay, this is a team that loses Al Horford. This is a team that loses Kristaps Porzingis, that doesn't have Drew Holiday anymore, and that loses Jayson Tatum on top of all of that. Traded Anthony Simons at the deadline. And this is a team that is sitting here right now as we speak as the 2 seed out east with 41 wins, a 41-21 record. They are a game and a half above the New York Knicks, who were my favorite to win the conference coming into this season. And they're 5 games behind the Pistons, who were going to win the conference. This right now, if we go by wins, is the 4th best team. No. Yes, this is the 4th best team in the NBA if we go by wins right now, without Jayson Tatum having played a single minute since the Knicks series. You're adding Jayson Tatum to this team where if you go look at their most recent games, you want to talk about recent stretches. Since January 30th, they've lost 3 games. They went the entire month of February and lost 2 games, one to the Knicks and one to the Nuggets. Now they did lose last night they got their ass beat by the Hornets, but don't get me, but like this is insane. With 20 games left in the season, don't get me wrong, they do not have the easiest schedule left. We're talking about he could return against Dallas. That's a different game, but that's an ESPN game. But let's say he doesn't return against Dallas. Is he returning Sunday against Cleveland? Tuesday against San Antonio, Thursday against OKC. Then after that, they got Washington. Phoenix is still a good team, but then they got Golden State with no Steph Curry. He could be back by then. March 18th. I hope Steph Curry's back by then. But then they got Memphis. But man, when you go through the schedule, Minnesota after that, Oklahoma City after that, Charlotte again, Atlanta, Miami, Milwaukee, Toronto, Charlotte, New York, Orlando. Those are play-in playoff teams. And don't get me wrong, the Celtics are better than the Hawks. They're better than the Hornets. They're better than the Bucks. They're better than the Raptors. They're better than the Heat. They're better than the Magic. All those things. But like, they don't have the easiest schedule left coming up. So if Jayson Tatum is able to come back and in this last 15 to 20 games or whatever they have left, and he's able to look like any resemblance of himself, if he's able to get himself up to 70% of his production by 75% of his production by the playoffs, this is a team that will probably be my favorite to win the East. Now, obviously, jumping the gun, got to see what Tatum looks like when he comes back. Got to see how the team looks when he comes back, because that is another thing you have to think about, is not just how he looks. But even though this is his team, and this is a team that he's been on since he was drafted and everything like that, and the team defers to him, Jaylen Brown's having an MVP season. And I don't think I don't think Jayson Tatum's the type of guy to try to get in the way of that. We saw that in the finals, right? He's a very good teammate from everything that we've seen and everything that it looks like. But there are other guys on this team. He's never played with Nikola Vucevic before. He's played with Neemias Queta, don't get me wrong, but not with the way Neemias Queta is getting these minutes now. He wasn't playing with Neemias Queta when Neemias Queta was a starter. He hasn't played as much with Baylor Shireman. He's played with Peyton Pritchard and everything like that, but like, there's going to be some different things. This is a team where Derek White is going to have a little bit of a different role because Drew Holiday's not there anymore. This is a team where Sam Hauser, Neemias Queta, Nikola Vucevic are guys that have bigger roles, especially when it comes to the playoff time. And another thing that I think is going to be underrated here, how willing and able will Jayson Tatum be to sit in that chair defensively? Because that is the worry for this Celtics team to me. I understand they are the second team in net rating, which is insane in and of itself. And I understand you go to the defensive rating and you say, how could that be the worry with you? They're the 7th best defense in the NBA and the 2nd best offense. Is there anything to worry about at all? And I feel you. Don't get me wrong. They are good. Don't get me wrong. But I look at this roster and I say, okay, let's say going into the East playoffs, let's say we don't even make it to the finals, going into the East playoffs, how are these centers holding up against Evan Mobley and Jared Allen when they're in a pick and roll with Donovan Mitchell or James Harden? How are they holding up against when Kat and Mitchell Robinson are on the floor together? How are you holding up if Joel Embiid is healthy and the Sixers are fully healthy? Does Paolo Banchero give these bigs that much trouble? Same with Franz Wagner. Do you have any paint defense at all? Can guards just get to the paint at will? Can Jalen Brunson get to the paint at will and draw a foul every single time, if not just get a bucket? Same with Tyrese Maxey. Can these guys do that every single time? Because you don't have a Rudy Gobert. You don't have a Porzingis down there anymore. You don't have a respectable, switchable center defender like an Al Horford anymore. And you don't know if Jayson Tatum's going to be that version of himself where he is one of the best and most willing two-way players in the game. But immediately, I mean, Jayson Tatum's a guy that we know can rebound the hell out of the ball, can score the hell out of the ball, can be the best passer on this team. So that's why I really am extremely confident that if you're able to get Jayson Tatum to 75% health by the playoffs, there's a real shot you win the conference. There's a real shot. Now, don't get me wrong. We got to see everything on the court. We got to see what's up with Cleveland and James Harden's injury. We got to see New York's been looking good recently. They beat the hell out of the Spurs the other day. We got to see the Pistons are a real team. Like, we have to see, are they going to take the leap in the playoffs the way we expected them to? Because they played well in the playoffs last year in that first round series against New York that should have went to 7 games. But are we going to see a progression, right? I don't think we need to see one necessarily because that's still such a young team that is overachieving, but will we? We go down to the bottom of the conference. Will the Orlando Magic somehow lock in? I don't believe that. But, could the Philadelphia 76ers come up there and give you all some trouble? Now, right now, the way things shake out, they are a 2 seed, so they would deal with a Charlotte, an Atlanta, a Miami, or an Orlando. But, like, if the Bucks they're 5 games out. The Bucks are not making it back. But, like, Charlotte's not an easy team to beat, as Boston just saw the other day. But, man, this right here is phenomenal news. I do not think that can be understated for me, is how ecstatic this news got me, how excited this news got me to get back into watching basketball and really be locked in and everything like that. I'm excited for that game tomorrow against the Mavs if he is willing to come back or if he is able to come back. Obviously, probably going to be in a minutes restriction, probably going to be coming off the bench, everything like that. But really, we're all going to, I think, be having to watch the Celtics super, super closely over this next 15, 20 game stretch to end out the season, because Jayson Tatum coming back to the Celtics could switch up everything about what's going on about this season of the NBA. It could switch up the entirety of not just the Eastern Conference, but how we look at everything going into the playoffs. So, absolutely excited for this news, man. Shout out to Jayson Tatum. I absolutely respect the way that you have worked so hard to come back. Shout out to you, because I know that rehab cannot have, I don't know, but I assume that rehab could not have been easy. The most rehab I ever did was a torn labrum on my hip, and that's nothing compared to an Achilles. So I cannot imagine how difficult that rehab must have been, and still that you're going through and everything like that. But man, shout out to you. Shout out to y'all team doctors and everything like that. And let's get into it, man. I love it. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching as always. Please don't forget to keep God first, and let's watch some Jayson Tatum tomorrow, baby. Peace.